Well, I'm going to give you the number one indication. Not that it's going to happen in July, but I think towards the end of the summer into early next year, you're going to see oil take off like a rocket, then gold and silver. Yes, it's partly because of tensions in Iraq with ISIS. You know, actually Obama's now, or the administration now, is actually backing Assad and the Iranians to counter ISIS. But I know the real game is they're really playing a game where as many internal wars as possible to reduce the Muslim population. That's really what they're doing, you know. But anyway, I'm going to give you the cold hard facts on how business works, because I can tell you, but it's like, I don't know why I'm telling it, but it's kind of simple. But one major indication besides the tensions in Iraq that oil's going up is that they're trying very hard to lift the restrictions on exporting oil. They haven't exported oil for 40 years. Ever since the time when they had the OPEC oil embargo and we had the gas lines here in the United States, they passed laws that the U.S. oil companies could not export oil. They're now that they're almost well, they're pretty much up to full strength on oil production. This is what you can see it coming up. They want to get as much money as possible, and this is actually going to keep the dollar afloat, keep American power afloat. See, despite this New World Order deal where everybody's maybe the elite or whatever, there's different groups that got different power struggles going on. You know, they kind of work together, but then again, they don't. They don't exactly work together all the time. But what the U.S., what the Western ones are doing is, when the Middle East really gets embroiled in serious intentions, the global price of oil is going to go up, plus they're going to have the capability to export oil. That's when you're going to see gold take off, and then you're going to see silver take off. Now, the thing with Iraq, you know, they always said, yeah, we fought the war in Iraq, but the American oil companies aren't in Iraq. It's mainly Chinese. So guess who's going to get cut off on supply? China. It's Chinese oil companies that are mainly in Iraq. If all those refineries go up in smoke or whatever, and you know, there was a fire at the largest Iraqi oil refinery, but you know, things are just starting. You know, this garbage these other people put out about the Illuminati dates in July and all the sky is going to fall, I almost kind of figured the opposite's going to happen. You know, you're not seeing nothing happening with silver. Yeah, it really moved today down, right? But it's going to happen here fairly soon, I think, because the next, what I'm actually picking up from all these different religious predictions and these not that I believe in this stuff, but they're all talking about the middle of the next major financial crisis is going to be in September 2015. Now, we can easily have a major run-up in the metals. It doesn't take long. It takes 6, 7, 8 months. That's all it takes. And how long does it take for it to crash? A week. And it does a dead cat bounce, and it does a death roll. You know, it could go way up from, say, September through April of September 2014 to April of 2015. Crash, bounce up a little bit, then do a major crash again in September of 2015. You know, it could rise, it could start to really rise here at the end of the summer 2014. It doesn't take long for it to go up when it goes up. And Middle East tensions usually what brings the gold up besides the oil, and which moves silver. It starts moving silver. And then when silver starts to catch up to the other two in percentage gains. But you know, where I see the writing on the wall is the oil companies in the United States are ready to export oil. They want to export the oil. Hey, they're going to make loads of money hand over fist. And if the Americans can't pay for the oil, somebody else will. So if it's $200 a barrel, $300, I don't know what it's going to. I mean, you know, when it goes up, they're going to be saying $500 a barrel. But that's also going to create a demand for U.S. dollars. So the dollar's not going away to oblivion right away, or if the dollar went to oblivion, that would mean World War III and the United States lost the war. Then the dollar went to oblivion. But it's not going to oblivion even under these circumstances with debt, because every other country practically is in debt. And you can say Russia's not in debt, but the Russians are in bad shape as far as economy goes. You know, a lot of these alternative media like to point out, yeah, the Russian doesn't have the debt and all this stuff. Well, they don't have a lot. They got a lot of other problems. Actually, if you look at the ruble has been going like this. The ruble's rubble. It's going like this for the last year and a half. The Russian stock markets have been going down. Now, I do realize that the U.S. stock market, this is the second longest bull run in the last 100 years of U.S. financial history. And you know what happens, how that ends? With a major crash. Now, or, you know, it's not like a permanent crash, forever crash, but it's a reset, and it starts taking off again. I don't know how high is high. 17,000 now, right? From the Dow? I don't know. But the higher it goes and the longer it goes, the bigger it comes down. And but anyway, you know, actually, many of the people, you know, I'm not going to put out any kind of dishonest opinion information, or even go. I'm not even going to play like I was, I think, a couple years ago or so. I was playing a little more with what, you know, parroting a little bit more with the silver people were saying, even though I didn't really believe it. No, I'm not doing that at all. I'm just being bluntly honest on this deal. I think they're going to have another pump and dump operation. It's going to go. It could go up very fast. Now, I don't know this for sure, but if it does go up very fast, it'll correct again very hard, and it'll stay flat for a few more years again. But you know, the time to dump it is when everybody's telling you the sky's going to fall and the dollar's going to absolute oblivion. That's the time to dump it. And you say, what do? Keep dollars? It doesn't mean you're going to keep. I have to repeat this every time, because even a business that has a land held for 20 years or something, and they sell the land and they make this 500% profit on the land, say for instance, they don't hold all mainly dollars on their balance sheet. They reinvest the money into capital assets. And in your case, it doesn't have to be reinvested into markets. You can say, well, I need a car. I'm going to do a capital asset on my personal, you know, whatever. I need a refrigerator, washer, dryer, and new furniture or something, you know, and this will last me for so many years or whatever. You know, you might want to do that. I mean, something you can use for a long period of time. It doesn't have to be a capital investment in the markets again. You know, I have to state this. You know, these people like, you know, you could say a lot of people don't like Soros, they don't like Buffett, even they don't like, but you know, maybe they'll like Jim Rogers or Mark Farber. But you know, all those people are in for money, and the only reason they make money is because they make money off the backs of other people making the wrong moves. You know, you might say, oh, they recontribute into the markets. They're gamblers. That's all they are. That's all they are. You know, it seems like people respect those kind of people so much, and I'm like, I don't really. I think they're kind of like parasites, to tell you the truth. You know, they don't really. You know, you take a person that invented something for the benefit of all mankind, or did something in some other way for the benefit of all mankind. An investor, they basically are a gambler. They took something from somebody else and it went in their pocket, then they reinvested it with somebody else so they can make more money. I don't really see, in the United States they seem to respect those kind of people. I don't. I think they're a bunch of garbage. So, you know, but I understand, you know, how to play the game, but, you know, I definitely keep one foot outside of that garbage because I know what it is. It is total junk. But anyway, you know, I'm going to continue to put out far more truthful information. And actually, you know, I was looking on a video I did a while back, unrelated to silver. It was actually on this Dr. Duesberg and the HIV virus, and I'm looking, wow, that video is very unpopular. And I'm saying, you know, there's people out there that think that, you know, the HIV virus is harmless, or they'll say it doesn't exist, or they'll say it doesn't exist, and then they'll argue it's harmless. And either I'm thinking these are people that are into wishful thinking, or they are people that are total disinformation agents. But, you know, despite that video being unpopular, it's truthful. What I'm telling people, I said, this stuff's dangerous, and anybody tells you otherwise, it's BS. You know, it's because I guess people want to believe something, and it may be flat out liars too that are telling you this, but that's the same type of thing in the financial world, in the silver world. Yes, it would be nice if you can, like, halfway own the earth with a few silver coins and say, wow, these things are worth, you know, one silver coin is worth a whole brand new house or something like that. But don't be ludicrous. It's ridiculous. You know, it's wishful thinking. You know, if you're actually going to think that type of stuff and you're advising people that silver's going to go up, you know, it could go up to astronomical heights at one pinnacle of point in time where it's a very short bubble where, you know, some ounces of silver is worth, you know, so many of these other assets. Like you can go down and buy a new car for, you know, so many ounces of silver today, and if maybe in the future it'll be only a fraction of so many ounces that you need to spend. But it's not going to last like that forever. That's called, like, when there's a panic mania into something, and panic manias don't last that long. But, you know, it's wishful thinking that people think something's going to go that high and stay that high. It's wishful thinking. So I'm not going to candy coat things and tell people a bunch of lies about things. I'm going to be truthful. And unfortunately, being truthful doesn't mean you're as popular. That's a fact. Because, you know, there's like the truthers that are saying, oh yeah, we're against the major media and the establishment. But, you know, they're in the business of fear. I'm just telling you the flat out truth. Maybe it's not like the most exciting, earth-shaking thing in the world, but, you know, I don't have a crystal ball, but I'm highly suspecting that something, when silver, I do understand that historically when silver takes off, it just takes off like a rocket unexpectedly, and it just, you know, and if you don't have it, you know, forget about it. I mean, you're out of the game, man. If you're going to be buying high, then screw it. It's a patient game. Like Jim Rogers says, I'm going to buy more when everybody else is totally despondent. You know, what a great guy he is, right? So if you're totally despondent, he'll buy your stuff cheap. Isn't he doing you a favor? No, he ain't doing you no damn favor. So, but, you know, he's mainly in other stuff, you know, with agriculture, and he's got some gold and silver and junk. But, you know, none of those guys are actually out for investors that are professional investors. They don't money. I know people argue about, yeah, they're into their family. Yeah, they are into their family. Up to a point. Up to a point. That's why they usually get divorced and stuff, and it costs them a lot of money, because what happens is, you know, the spouse realizes this guy's nothing but money, so I might as well just take all I can. They know it. They know it. And they're just as screwed up, too. But anyway, I just want to let you know that if the oil industry is really hot and heavy on exporting oil, that's a big indication that they're going to want to manipulate through tensions in the Middle East and wars and everything else for the price of oil to go up. Because they only got so much oil to export. You'd rather export the oil at top dollar. You know what I mean? That's the game they'll be playing. And it's not going to stay like that forever, because once it goes up that damn high, everybody in the world is going to stop using that product because it's going to be too expensive. And necessity is the mother of all invention. They'll be moving into electric cars, solar panels, and everything else. And it'll drop like a stone. And once everybody gets into different technology, the demand for oil will never be there again. You know, the same can even happen with silver someday, too. Well, if we ever get into technology where we're using carbon nanotechnology and all this type of stuff, you can start replacing all kinds of uses for silver in electronics left and right. There's a lot of stuff that's on the horizon. It's just that it's not on the horizon right now. You know, it's a matter of It's almost like with a product, when it goes into a bubble, it's almost like that vendor has to have that product. You know, it's almost like you got to have air or something like that. You got to, you know, it's like the person has to have air. Yeah, maybe there's an air tank I could order here for something. I'm underwater or something, you know, but I need the air right now. Will you pay for the air? Yeah, you will. You will. You will. But it takes a while for the other things to come to market. So, you know, things can spike, and the word is spike. Spike means way up, and then it can come crashing down really fast if it gets too far ahead of itself. And it's very difficult to ever say when the top of a bubble is going to be, because they seem to go away more than they should, and it's very difficult to know when the real bubble is going to take off. It's almost impossible. It's almost impossible. But I'm smelling something coming up. But I said I didn't think it was in July. I said I think it's going to start coming about more towards late summer. But I'm not putting out any kind of BS disinformation garbage. And you know, if I see silver go way over 50, I'll be parting with some of the physical, no doubt, no doubt. Not all of it, but some of it, no doubt about it. That's what I'll do. Anyway, over and out.